pretty safe to say that within ReZero, the witches and the witch factors faction of it all can get relatively confusing at times. And with the current latest events within Arc 9 of the series, there has been more additional information that has been added to witch factors, and we are slowly starting to piece together what witch factors actually are, what they do, and who these witches really are. So today, that is exactly what this is going to be about. A video explaining all of the witches of ReZero and explaining exactly how do witch factors work, because it is relatively confusing. Anyways, if you like this type of content, if you enjoy ReZero, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And anyways, let's just get right into the video. One more thing I did want to mention is make sure you check out my membership if you want to support me directly. Link will be in bio. Anyways, like I said, let's just go ahead and get right into the video. To start off, what exactly even is a witch factor? Well, a witch factor is the antithesis to a divine protection, which is provided by Odd Laguna, which, if you do not know, Odd Laguna is the soul of the ReZero world, in which that's where Reinhardt gets all his power from. Now, witch factors, basically the antithesis of this, and on top of this, they are more efficient and effective than divine protections. According to Echidna, a witch factor essentially gives you a right to rewrite the world. And on top of this, despite being claimed to be the antithesis to Odd Laguna, Klein himself states that it is these authorities that need prevention and, interference from Odd Laguna to begin with that allows them to have that right to interfere with the world. We see more of this in Arc 9 without going into spoilers, but it will be a relevant topic. Among these 7 main witch factors, none are stronger than the other. They are all equal in strength. However, when paired with somebody who is already strong, their strength can only be excelled and leading it to be stronger, such as the case of Sekhmet, the Witch of Sloth. With witch factors, you get something called an authority. And authority is an ability that manifests based on the wielder's interpretation and own wishing of the witch factor. So to explain it basically, Echidna was somebody who wished for knowledge. She wanted all the knowledge in the world and all that type of stuff. So she got the witch factor of greed. With this witch factor of greed, the witch factor of greed manifested the authority of greed, in which with the authority of greed, as from what we know, Echidna was given divine knowledge and was given the book of the gospel. It is her manifestation of her witch factor. The core essence of these witch factors is temptation and giving you something that you want more than anything in the world. And giving into this temptation is what lead to the twisted facade that we see within most of the witches. To behold and hold back this temptation goes against, the witch factor itself, and is something that is extremely hard to do, as we will learn within later events of the series. Somewhat almost akin to, honestly, Adam and Eve being tempted by the apple. Once given into this temptation and fully manifesting your witch factor, it can have many different outcomes, such as we see with Betelgeuse, who goes literally insane when he gives into the temptation of his witch factor. It is also to be mentioned that there is a compatibility aspect when it comes to these witch factors, such as somebody like Regulus, who had a very strong compatibility with the authority of greed and the witch factor of greed, compared to somebody like I just said, Betelgeuse, who did not have a strong correlation with the authority of sloth, and it essentially threw him insane. There is no basis for witch factors, and you do not have to be a male or a female to get them. Witch factor is just a name because that is the main people who use them. Witches, they were all females. If it had been men who had it, it would be warlocks or demons of witch factors. On top of this, you are able to share a portion of your witch factor authority, or your just witch factor in general. An example of this is how Sloth does within season 1, aka Betelgeuse. He shares it with the people within the witch cult, which leads them to be the apostles of Sloth. A lot of people theorize and reason that Subaru is not a Sin Archbishop of Envy, but rather an apostle of Envy, in which Satella is clearly sharing a portion of her abilities with him, and that is most likely going to be returned by death in what we see. As we've seen within the anime, the witches are not the only one who withhold the witch factors, as we have the Sin Archbishops right now who also hold the witch factors. There is no difference between these people. Sin Archbishops can beat witches, and some witches can beat Sin Archbishops, just because the name and the title does not really mean anything. It is just names that are correlated with different eras, which we learn from Rui. On top of this, the witches that we see within the ReZero anime right now are not the first witches that we have seen or that have existed. There were witches before the witches that we see from 400 years ago. As previously mentioned with the compatibility factor, a witch factor needs to choose you. If it is forcibly entered into you, you will go insane. This is exactly what happened with not only Betelgeuse, but is what happened with Satella, and is seemingly what led to the great disaster from what we know right now 400 years ago within the ReZero world. We learned some pretty important information about witch factors in Arc 9, being that if you are not compatible with your authority, you must give something up or have somebody give something up to actually actually use the authority. Small spoilers ahead, or I guess pretty big spoilers ahead for stuff about the melancholy user, but within Arc 9, it is revealed that Klein is, the devil of melancholy, I guess. He took the ability from Hector, in which, like I said, he reveals that for him to use this ability, he must give something up or take something from somebody within the world. That is his interpretation of it, and at least what he has to give up. It's also to be mentioned that melancholy is a bit different in the fact that it is not a main witch factor, and it is something else along with the vainglory witch factor. So the conditions for this could be different compared to the 7 main sins. We're not 100% sure as of right now, but like I said, we are seeing Petra go ahead and sacrifice things, and within the latest chapter, actually, it is revealed that not only Petra sacrifices things, but it is also the people around her, the people she is sharing her witch factor with, that are sacrificing their own things. So they're all basically sacrificing something to reach an end goal and to use the authority. Spoilers for that section are over. Just know that witch factors are compatible with certain people for certain reasons. On top of this, it is revealed to us that the witch factors of vainglory and melancholy are different because they were made for certain individuals, that being the Saintess and the Valorant. With these witch factors being tailor-made for people, it is pretty clear that they are not like the rest. At least that is what is revealed to us. According to Echidna, where this is revealed within Arc 9, not really spoilers, but just lore, the Saintess and the Valiant are two people who are good for nothings, who willingly took in witch factors. They are 2 of 3 people who have done so, and someone that she considers enemies. And people that she considers enemies with another certain character within the series that I cannot say due to spoilers. She claims that they did so in search for power and got corrupted by these witch factors. As for the users of the authorities, we start out with Sekhmet 400 years ago, who had the ability to essentially crush things, without having to get up or move at all. After this, we have Betelgeuse, who we see within the anime, and then after this, we have Subaru, who took his authority at the end of season 1. Next up is Greed, in which we have Echidna 400 years ago. We all know about Echidna, we all know what she does, the multiple factions of her, whether that be the Echidna that was alive or the witch factor literal representation of Echidna that we see Subaru talking to within the dream world. After she passed, this authority was passed on to Regulus Corneus, who again we see within the anime within season 3. He is somebody who is especially greedy, wanting nothing in the world but just to be essentially left alone, and after he is defeated, this ability is passed on to Subaru Natsuki. After this, we have the wielders of gluttony, who started off with Daphne 400 years ago, who had to be chained up and is the one who created the 3 great mob beasts that we see litter the anime. As of the current day gluttonies, we have the gluttony trio, that being Rui, Lai, and Roy, in which, as we know, their ability works by being able to erase people's memories. Their ability is not only rooted in that, it is also being able to erase somebody's name, give people memories. There are many different aspects to this ability and this authority that will be revealed more and more as the series goes on. After this, we have Wrath, aka Minerva, who was alive 400 years ago, and her authority basically manifested in the fact that if she healed one thing, something else would get destroyed. This came from her extreme sense of justice and wanting to save people, and as of current day, we have Sirius, who a lot of people suspect is potentially Fortuna, but she can essentially share emotions with the people around her. Next up is Lust, who 400 years ago was Carmilla. There's not much we know about her, honestly. Her ability is cool. The one I really want to talk about is the current day Lust, that being Capella. She could use transfiguration, basically die and come back, basically do whatever she wants, quite honestly. Change her appearance into the person you love the most. She could literally just do anything. She is a very interesting and mysterious character, and I can't wait to hear more about her. Next up is Pride, which 400 years ago was Typhoon, and the last known wielder of Pride was Stride Valakia. We do not know who the current wielder of Pride is, but if I had to guess, it will probably be revealed pretty soon. After this, we have Envy, which as we all know is just Satella, and we can assume that Subaru is probably some sort of apostle of Envy. Finally, moving on to the other 2 witch factors, there is Vainglory, who as we know of right now is just Pandora, and she has some sort of reality warping ability in which she could do whatever she wants and convince people and probably have some sort of mind manipulation. And after this, we have the authority of Melancholy, which, like I said, spoilers if I'm going to talk about this one, was Hector, which as we all know, he had some sort of gravity-esque ability. But yeah, spoilers for Arc 9, and 3, 2, 1 is now Klein, and not just Klein, but also Petra, as she is also sharing that authority, using it in some sort of time warping way to slow down time and speed up time. Last but not least, there is a couple of unknown authority wielders, at least from what we think and what we know. Those 2 are going to be Arturo two big guys, our two main guys, Natsuki, Subaru, and Ao. As of right now, we are not 100% certain what, drives the mechanism of their ability, being whatever sort of time looping ability Ao has and Return by Death for Subaru. My prediction and my guess for this is going to be that Subaru has probably going to be an Apostle of Envy, like I previously mentioned. And as for Ao, he could very well be the same, but we are just not 100% certain at this point. We are going to have to see. But as for that about does it for the video today. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what else you guys want to hear me talk about. I can talk about literally anything. Make sure to check about my membership. I just made a video about Dexter, but didn't do the best. I'll stick to the ReZero from now on. My bad, guys. Anyways, though, like I said, thank you guys for watching. This was a fun and quick one to make. I might have to pump out the videos a little less often for the time being, since college is starting. I am a sophomore and I'm not a communications major, to say the least. I am a STEM major, so that schoolwork's gonna take up my time here for a bit. But anyways, I'm just blabbering on. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for enjoying my content. It means the world to me, and peace.